welcome to Splitting Hairs once again. Today, Joe is joining us. Joe Lucille is a dancer in the Chicago area. He's up-and-coming rising star, and I'd like to welcome him.
Howdy, howdy.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
All right. So, we're doing kind of a blue slate. You know, kind of the, like a spin on silver, but with a little bit of bluish undertones. Pretty much, there's no color in your hair, so it should be pretty easy.
Okay.
So, pretty much just depends on how much we lift you.
I somehow jacked it up. I don't know what I did, but I did something wrong, and it was like, I can't do this and cut off all my hair.
So what's going on?
Well, I kind of feel like I took a break from dancing for a bit. I've kind of been on the back burner and been choreographing more, teaching more, which slowly liking more and more. It's taken me a minute to get used to it, but...
What, the choreographing or the teaching?
I think the teaching aspect, because, I don't know, I feel like I always had this weird pressure of trying to be, like, the best dancer, like, you know, the most successful. I wanted to be someone, and but I kind of always have kind of been good at just choreographing, making my own dances, which...
So, yeah, that kind of, like, brings me back to, like, how did you end up in the circle that you ended up? Like, you just got kind of a big award, achievement. I don't know how you would, categorize
Yeah.
it, but, like, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
You're, like, a super young guy. Like, you started pretty kind of late in the game, so, like...
Yeah. Yeah, so I technically started when I was 18, senior in high school. And I don't know, I really liked it. I started off with just hip hop, and then my high school dance team wouldn't let me do the other dances, and I was just really interested in it.
And why wouldn't they let you?
It takes training to do all the other stuff, jazz, contemporary, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do them. And a lady from my church actually, I danced at my church growing up, and I wanted to be a surgeon. She was an anesthesiologist, and was super excited. She's known me since I was a kid. She's like, oh, this would be awesome just to be able to take you in. You can see all these great things, and it was great. I loved it. I knew it's what I wanted to do, and it costs a lot of money to do. I'm also 18. No one, like, I don't have money to pay for it. No one wants to pay for it.
Classes?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the training that you need to be successful to, to get into stuff.
Well, even just to, at that late in the game, like,
Yeah.
it sounds ridiculous to, like, most people, but, like, that is late in the game for
Yeah,
dance.
yeah.
It's just like music,
Yeah.
People start sometimes as toddlers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's doesn't mean you're going to succeed. It just means...
Imagine, most people when they think of dancers, they think of ballet dancers and kids who literally spend their entire life just dancing in a studio, nothing else. Like, this is what they decided at such a young age, and it's interesting that I was able to pick it up, because if you think about it now, people know there's no way.
Well, and there's and behind it is all the signs of it, like the muscle memory.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a full-grown man, but
Right.
like you're pretty darn close.
Yeah.
And then you just,
Yeah.
reinforce it.
Yeah.
As you get older. And
Yeah.
Like, that's why, like, people always think, like, oh, you gotta do this, or you gotta go this way or that way.
Right. Yeah. It's funny, because I was actually talking to, I have a couple of assistants. They're, like, seniors in high school, but they help me with my, like, beginner classes and whatnot sometimes.
With, like, the little ones.
Yeah, and I was joking around with them. I was like, it's funny, because I drill certain things in my classes that, as a college freshman dance major, I was getting yelled at that you typically would know by 4th grade what this is. if you've been dancing. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, can someone just explain to me what this? I have no idea, no clue.
I love it.
And you know it, and so now I'm always like, well, what's the difference? What kind of leap is this, guys? Like, you have to know. And it's just funny that those things stuck with me. Like, remember that time you got yelled at because you didn't know what this was?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like,
yeah.
geez, what? Then to look at it now and you're just like, wow, who would have thought you would be doing what you're doing now?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know how you accomplished, because it's really cutthroat, you know? When did you know, like, it was the right thing to do, or did you know? Or...
I think my freshman year of college, I was a pre-med biology dance major with a Spanish minor. Why? Why?
Well, because everyone speaks Spanish. Or you should.
I imagined my life as, I was like, I'm going to do surgeries during the daytime, and then I'll have dance classes and performances at night. Like, I'll be a dancing doctor. It'll be great. That's a TV show. Literally, I described someone's pilot that will be released on ABC soon, probably.
Yeah, within the next month.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember my freshman year, like, going through all these classes and whatnot, and coming home and talking to my mom, and her just being like, I hate my job so much. Like, oh, well, that sucks. And she's like, but I do it because I make great money. You know, I have to take care of my family and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, speaking of college, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I just want to focus on dance, and I don't want to be your age and be like, I hate my job, but I didn't follow my dreams, and I'm young, and I'm just going to do it. Oh, well, sorry. And she's like, all right, it's fine. Do it. Live your dreams.
Yeah.
And, you know, it took because that's, if you think about it from her perspective, that's a huge change of pace, going from, oh my gosh, my son's going to be a doctor, to my son's going to be a dancer.
Yeah.
Right, like, he may make
mean?
money, he may not.
Yeah. Like, and not just like, oh, like, my son's been studying dances.
Right.
He's just not going to be.
He just decided.
He just decided.
Yeah, I auditioned with 2 months of dance training for the dance program, and somehow got in. But I worked my ass off.
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
so
it's
to get there. Because, I mean, I was going from, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 hours a week during the school year of dance classes, where I was taking so many classes. My mom was like, I can't pick you up and drop you off. Like, if you want to do this, you got to figure it out. So I would bike to school, bike to dance, bike home from dance.
Which, like, probably wasn't, like, terrible. Like,
No,
you know,
I mean,
like,
I'm exhausted, but, like, I'm like, all right, I got to do this, like, if I want to dance. So,
like, tell me what triggered it? Like, what inspired you? Like, there had to be, like, a aha moment. Like, where you're like, I must do this. You know, like, this has to happen for me. You know?
I think
or
it was...
whether it didn't happen, but it, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a moment where you're like, I'm doing this. I don't care what happens.
I don't know. I feel like it must have happened in a class. Or maybe it was the moment where I realized, hey, this could be a thing if you actually try. Like, you're not out of shape or anything. Like, you've got some athletic ability. Maybe you could do this. And my mom can't afford it, so I'm just moving on to something that, you know, is more beneficial for me and my family. And she called my mom and told her, hey, I'm going to pay for his dance classes, so sign him up. And I think that's the moment where I was like, oh, this is my chance. Like, I need to try.
Yeah, like, who knows what'll come of it.
Right.
I can do it.
Right. And
the door's open.
And I mean, even in that first instance, I took my class, and I was like, I'm still not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm just diving in. And I took one class, and like, you know, we want you to take this class too, free of charge. We just want to see what you're like in it. And by the end of the day, they're like, you know what? We called the lady who's paid for your classes. We told her, don't send any more checks, because we're going to pay for all your classes. You can take class for free, take as much as you want. Like, we just think you're talented, and we've never seen someone come in so late in the game and
Yeah.
be able to do what you do.
Yeah. So that's the part that like blew me away. I mean, I was doing the classical, violin thing. That's pretty scary. But I was like intimidated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like by this whole like it was life or death.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I was just like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, if you get into the competition side of dance, so growing up, I went to I guess it's more like a performance-based studio, so they don't go to competitions, they don't do like a bunch of huge performances and stuff like that. So I didn't know there were other things out there until now that I'm teaching. I'm like, whoa, there's a whole nother world out here.
Yeah, but I don't think it was always that way.
Yeah. No, I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like now.
It's like the new thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my thing of after graduating from college. I was like, okay, well, before I graduated, I auditioned for one company. And it wasn't even, I was driving a friend up to the audition, and she was like, hey, you should go too, you're driving, I'll pack your stuff. And I was like, I don't know anything about them. Fine, I'll go. I had like a pulled hamstring because I like to try different things. So I tried fencing. I'm actually pretty good. Might be in the Olympics one day. You never know. Watch out. But I thought I was pretty good at it. I was flexible and to show off for like the head teacher.
My brother was really into fencing.
It's fun. That reminds me of when I was in like 3rd grade or 4th grade and wrestling was one of our like intramural things. I was like, nope, it's too hot. People are on me. I don't want to deal with this. I just hate this. Can we please stop?
Yeah.
I like taekwondo. I like karate. I don't have to touch. I just have to strike you.
You know what though? There is a bit of dance when it taekwondo. Karate,
Oh yeah.
I just loved it.
Yeah.
But like never on a serious level or anything. But,
Right.
But taekwondo and karate, all that kung fu, that's it's all very dance
Yeah.
oriented.
I think that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, probably. It's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Even like when we're cutting hair, it's all about your body positioning. And it's the same thing with playing the violin. So when I'm cutting hair, like I have to constantly remind myself just to get myself like, all right,
Right.
back center, the body positioning, just like straightening yourself out,
Right.
breathing, all that stuff.
So much. I didn't realize
It's
that
related.
there was so much into that.
Oh, yeah.
But also this is coming from someone that I feel like I was maybe like, it's been like 6th grade. My stepsister at the time had just got a Dancing Debbie doll, if you know what that is. And I was obsessed with her. She had this pretty blonde, long hair. Wasn't supposed to play with it, but I was like, I'm gonna play with it. I love this doll. And I thought I was like a beautician, like a hairstylist and everything. It's like, I'm gonna give her a weave. Like, I put yarn in her hair and like braided it. And she looked just terrible. She looked awful. The yarn was brown with platinum blonde hair.
No.
So she looked like Christina Aguilera in the Dirty music video. Like, just so bad.
Like office, yeah.
Just lost her way.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I feel like I just recently swallowed this pill of like, I think I'm finally figuring out who I am in this weird world and what my calling's supposed to be.
So, but can we remind the world, how old are you? You're a baby?
I am. It's sad. I'm 26. I'll be 27 in November though. I told my kids, I will be getting gray hair within the next 5 years, I'm assuming.
No.
I feel like that's...
Not assuming. I mean, you can't
I feel like
assume
that's when it happens.
In your family? Like,
I mean, in life, like, you start looking around like 30-something. You're like, all right,
think
maybe.
30's old, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be 30 yet. My kids told me and it was one of the older ones, so I was like, oh, this is great. She's like 17. She goes, how old are you, Mr. Joe? And I was like, how old do you think I am? She goes, well, how about you tell me that way I don't offend you? He's like, okay, great. Well, I'm 26. It's not that old. I go,
She's
26?
like, no,
Really?
26?
And I was like, well, how old did you think I was? And don't be smart. She was like, I thought you were like 22. And I was like, oh my
I
God.
love you. You're a master student.
I am 22. That's right. Tell all your friends.
Absolutely.
It's exactly how old I am.
Yep.
That's actually been happening a lot recently. I got into an Uber, which I no longer use. We won't
Yeah.
speak of why, but I don't use them.
Yeah. You there?
And I get in the Uber. I just shave my face, which I do like once every 2 weeks because I can only grow 5 hairs on my face. And the guy's like, hey, you just heading into school. Granted, I wear a book bag and stuff because I have to carry a computer, I have to carry shoes, all this stuff to teach. And I was like, no, I'm just heading into work. He goes, oh, you're not heading into school? I thought you were in high school. You look so young. And I was like, what? Oh my
Can
God.
I kiss you?
I mean, like,
Did you report me?
I'm not gonna give you a better rating because you said that. I'll think about it. But that is in your favor. But I know that day is approaching. Actually, you know what? I feel like it's not because my mom still looks pretty young. So I feel like I've got some good things going for me. My boyfriend, he told me the funniest thing once about, I forgot, we were watching something. He goes, I feel like I know exactly what you're going to be like when you're 60. I go, what? What do you mean? He's like, because you're already kind of sassy. And by kind, I mean like you're really sassy. He's like, well, yeah, that's not going to change ever. He's like, but I just imagine like in class, you probably have a cane that you like bang on the floor, probably wearing like some like floral shawl or something, just dramatic for no reason. I said, these all seem like accurate things.
Yeah.
And he goes, but this is how, but like you're probably gonna have like a blonde bang or something. I was like, wow, you just know me so well. Because I probably would have a blonde bang. At 60, if I have enough hair to have bangs, let alone
What's
it to be,
your mom's father look like?
my mom's, I feel like he's bald, maybe. But neither my parents are bald, so.
That doesn't mean anything.
But neither are their siblings either.
No, that doesn't mean anything. It goes to grandpa and your mother's.
Well, maybe.
But it doesn't, at the end of the day, though, you know what I mean?
Maybe I can wish that it doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Well, yeah. Cool.
My mom did tell me though that so back in like college, I used to only bleach the top of my head, and I would leave the back and the sides like really dark brown. And she told me, you know, if you keep doing that, you're eventually gonna go bald in that one spot. And I was like, what? No. And I remember having a dream that night and touching my hair and it just like all falling out. And I was like, no.
Mommy.
But I feel like there's enough people that are still bleaching their hair that I
fine.
probably can be fine.
You're gonna be just fine.
Great.
I wouldn't do it if I didn't think your hair could handle it.
Perfect. I mean, there's also wigs. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
They make them for a reason.
They do. Well, I like that the moisture level of your scalp.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like crunchy or...
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of the thing I did over the weekend. I was doing this curl certification for WeDad. And like, oh my God, it blew my like head wide open with, you know, being able to actually address the real issues with different hair textures. You know what I mean?
I feel like I never knew what to do with my hair. I just would like, throw some goop on it. Hopefully that works. Cause like when I'll go to get it cut, like in the past I've noticed like, oh, I didn't realize my hair was this dry. When they're cutting it, it's just like dry skin. I'm like, what is going on? I know that this cannot be happening. I feel like I couldn't get whatever I was putting on my hair down to the
skin,
Yeah.
the level of your skin.
yeah, like it was just getting
That's
stuck
a
on
huge.
top.
That's like with your curl pattern. That's exactly what the problem is because it's almost like a webbing that like protects
Yeah.
the scalp almost, and
Mhm.
it like unless you really work it through,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get to skin, ground zero.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
always
but it's
seems
just
so short because it
the
like
curl,
spirals. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say when you have such a tight
Yeah.
curl pattern, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But I did like the texture that you had when you came in.
Mhm.
So I might need to cover this a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so here we are, round two. Like if we're gonna get this right, we're gonna do it right.
Right.
So it's your hair lifts so easily. So there's still a lot of gold in there, so I'm just kind of going over it again. And it's, whatever.
Can't do it in one take.
No, not usually. Not usually.
I feel like Kanye West stole my look, so now I need a new look, and this is probably going to be it.
Oh, did he steal them?
I feel like this has been happening recently. Everyone's been stealing my look, so I kind of have to make a new look. Or it could just be I'm just not famous and no one notices me, so.
Well, that, of course. Always. Could be
There's
a factor,
always that might be a factor, but we're not going to say it is.
No.
We'll consider it, but I don't know if we're going to just assume that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a competition so I work at 2 studios. I'm a dance teacher currently. And we have a competition that's going on right now. I just got a text saying that one of my solos got first in their category, which is awesome. And the way that these work is for solos, essentially, like, it depends on your studio. Some people, everyone can get a solo. Some people it's if you ask. Some people it's if you deserve it, like if you worked hard enough. Just depends on where you're at. And I think all of our kids work really hard to earn what they get. And so this girl, it's her first year having me as her choreographer for a solo, and it's been a pleasure to work with her. And she obviously worked her butt off, and she got first in the category.
Is this the one with the wall?
No, this one, she hasn't had me for a lot of classes, I feel like, but she's a great mover. I just feel like she just needs that little extra push. And so for me, I feel like I definitely give kids that push of like, all right, this is what I want, and this is how it has to be. And they rise to that occasion, and it may not be perfect, but they give it their all, and we work from there. And I think she's really tried hard with what I've given her and the coachings and whatnot. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, is this your choreography that
Yeah.
you're competing with?
Yeah, so she's
Yeah.
competing my choreography.
Which is, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's weird because I was just cleaning out some of my stuff in my room, and I found a choreography book of mine, a journal, I guess, from college. And the first page that opens up, it says, "Give me choreography." And I remember writing this and being like, this is so dumb. And
No, it's about what you put out.
yeah,
It's
and
totally what you put out.
and now that's like, I love creating. I love the fact that I'm teaching dancers new ways of how to move, and my choreography is winning awards and all kinds of stuff. And so now I'm just trying to figure out, like, what pathway do I want that to take me, I've definitely thought about, producing my own show and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I think for me, when I have those big projects like that, I want it to be something that is different and unique, and it speaks and it can stand alone, where it's like, oh shoot, I wasn't expecting this. And so with that, I have to consider all the tasks and whatnot that come along. I have to figure out my funding and paying my
it's always
dancers and all
about
that
money.
stuff.
But
And
in a perfect
yeah.
world, though, like,
Yeah, in a perfect world, yes, I would be ready to do it hell, I would be excited if I could do it this year, but realistically, I think next year is probably going to be when it happens. I've got a couple ideas of song choices and concepts, and in the middle of a proposal. There's this show, The OA, that it's on Netflix. I found a playlist on Spotify that it just has a bunch of the songs from the show. And there was one song that I had already had downloaded, and I was like, oh shoot, I totally forgot about this. And I started playing with that song and how it was making me feel and the imagery it creates and all that stuff like that. And I ended up picking, it's a song called Keep. And then Sunlux, who I absolutely adore, this band, this group. And it's actually going to be about, a health issue that I've had, epilepsy.
Right. That's right. We were talking
Yeah. And I feel like my most successful pieces have been personal ones that I can relate to,
Absolutely.
that I've gone through, versus something that I'm speculating about.
Right.
And so this one, it's the way I would describe it. It starts off as like just peaceful music. It's a piano in the background, light, and it just kind of goes through the phase of when I realize I've just had a seizure, from being unconscious to waking up to realizing, oh shoot, what happened? It's like you just woke up from an awesome nap and you're like, oh, I feel great. But that time frame is literally like only a few seconds. It seems like it's a long time, but it's a few seconds. And then for me personally, it's always been like this nervousness or worry and then fear, because I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my challenge that I'm going to have of how am I going to portray that to my audience? How am I going to...
Yeah.
I want to humanize this ailment, I guess.
Certainly, there's definitely enough people.
I don't know. I always love to tell a story with my choreography. And so I wouldn't consider it successful if you can 100% recite to me what the story is, word for word, what I wanted you to get. I feel like I failed in some way. I feel more successful in my storytelling if you are able to tell me a whole nother story that you came up with that I didn't even think of, but based on what I gave you.
Yeah.
That's when I feel successful,
Yeah, that's
because I've sparked
that's
something.
what it's about.
Yeah.
Like, I believe.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Marines, you know what? People use the word genius a lot out of context. Like they use it too much. But I do truly think when it comes to this stuff, she's a genius.
Yeah, no.
She's absolutely brilliant.
She does some great work.
Yep. Watch the genius.
So, what are a few quirks that you noticed about Lucas where you were like, I'm gonna love you regardless, but holy shit.
Are we shooting?
Yes.
A few quirks I've noticed about Lucas. For my first birthday that we celebrated, he just asked, like, well, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, I don't know, navy blue Uggs. Here are pictures. Like, really specific. Like, I did kind of want them, but it's not something I need.
Right, yeah.
And I got them. I was like, what? Like, he was like, you don't understand how hard I had to look for these shoes because they were so specific. I went to all these stores. No one had them. I had to go online and everything. He was like, you did all of that, like, for these shoes? Like, so he's really good about that, of just being like, I will actually go and, like, try hard to get this for you. And it's really nice that he makes that extra, like, effort.
Let me hear your journey on that. Let me. How did you do it? Tell me again.
Right.
How did you get these?
Yeah.
Oh, right? Like, you went through a whole adventure for these specific
You went through a
shoes.
safari just to find.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are very yin and yang.
Yeah.
He is very put together and organized, and I'm very chaotic and spur of the moment, spontaneous. So he's
Yeah.
constantly on his toes and just like, all right. But I think it's a good balance because
Absolutely,
it
yeah.
helps me like, hey, reel it in just a little.
Yeah.
Just, you've got to chill out because that's not gonna work. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
What?
prime example. So our bedroom, we have his side, we have my side. His side is very clean and organized. My side is hidden
Seriously.
from direct view. Like you have to walk to see my side, which is usually a mess. Cause I'm like, I get home late. I don't want to do it. I just take this off and I throw it on this pile and I get in bed. You just got to put some energy towards this. I'm like, all right, let's do it. I clean. Today I dusted because his parents are coming into town tomorrow. And I was like, all right.
Okay, just in time for them. Yeah.
It was some work, but I did it. And he likes when I clean because it's very rare that I clean. So is everything okay? Like, I'm like, I'm just in a cleaning mood. He's like, ignore me. Just do your thing. I don't like to make the decisions of things. Like if we're going out, okay. I will usually start it off like, we're going out. You guys finish the story, and I will follow along. I started it. I got us this far. Someone's got to take the reins because that's about as much as I can do.
Yeah.
And like prime movie nights. But since we have seen so many good movies, I have now gotten some credits that I get to use where I'm like, all right, I saw this movie and it got awards. Now we get to go see Power Rangers and anything else, sing. It's just gonna have to be a give and take kind of thing. Like, I don't know, I think I've just gotten him to be loose in general.
Yeah.
Where when we're going out, you know, he feels comfortable like dancing even if he's not the best dancer, or he's like, I can just be more free and just have fun, like be silly and whatnot, and not always have to be so, you know, tightly wound around whatever's up next or all this other stuff. Just take a second to just live in the moment and not worry about things. I think that's kind of been the thing that I don't know if he's necessarily wanted to do, but it's something that indirectly I've kind of caused him to do, which I think has paid off because vice versa, I've been like, I need to buckle down and do some things, and I've seen him do it, I can do it. All right, cool. So, yeah. I don't think there's been anything major where I've been like, hey, oh, I made him watch Jumanji and I fell asleep.
Oh.
And he was pissed. He was like, you made me buy this movie and you fell asleep. And I was like, okay, we'll watch it
Alright,
tomorrow.
dude, but like,
I'm not going to fall asleep, I promise. I fell asleep. Again. I think that's probably the worst thing I've probably made him do. Watch Jumanji from the beginning, halfway through twice.
that's terrible. You're
But I fall asleep in movies. That's just a thing I do. But I usually wake up and I know what's happening. Like, he's the type of guy that will be watching. I've fallen asleep for like 15 minutes. And I'm like, what's happening? I don't understand. I'm like, you've been awake. What do you mean, what's happening? They're in different clothes. Last time I saw them, they were children. And I know what happened. Like, I don't know what movie that was even from. I just made that up. But but like that, it will be stuff like that. And I'm like, but for my professional stuff, he likes it. He likes the story. And, you know, I love to hear his input coming from the outside world, you know. It's just nice that he kind of has that outside lens. I will say out of everyone I've ever dated, slash what I would think who my soulmate, who I thought my soulmate was going to be, or who I imagine it would be.
Yeah.
He's been the most supportive and like, He literally gives me that kick in my ass. He's like, you need to just do it. Like, suck it up and try. Like, just do this thing. Like, so what? You get denied. I don't know. Me venturing into this world of choreography and teaching, the rejection feels 10 times harder than it does as, like, as a dancer when you're like, oh, I didn't book that audition. You can usually pinpoint where you're like, this is where you fucked up. Choreography, it's like, you have it or you don't. Some people have those, like, one-hit wonder moments where you're like, wow, you really created a really good dance that one time, which goes back to I love hearing what people get from what I've created. It can be completely opposite of what I intended, but I love that that's what you came up with, you know?
No bark, Daphne.